Hello, I am Mac, at least for a day. Welcome back to Alone with You. It's time to go into the simulation chamber, hologram chamber, whatever it's called. By the way, I found out what these... Well, I found out that hashtag AWY game is the hashtag that the developer, Benjamin Rivers, wants people to use on Twitter. So that's just kind of a little Easter egg there. I still don't know what @YOSP. Wait, oh, isn't @YOSP Yoshi P, the president of Sony? I don't know. Oh well. But I know what the Twitter hashtag is about, at least. Yep, head south to the holo chamber. I'm gonna call it the simulation station, just because I want to. Thank you for coming. The chamber will only work at night, when other systems are powered down. It's a limitation of our current situation, I'm afraid. This also means that I'll be in low-powered mode too, so you'll be on your own in there. I won't be able to see or hear what happens. So the time you get in the chamber will be strictly between you and whoever you're seeing that day. In the morning, the holograms will sync their data and ideas with me. Tonight, you'll be meeting Winnie Laurier for the first time. Since the comms relay was her domain, it makes sense that you visit with her. Remember, these holographic recreations, they're based on data backups I kept for each key member of the colony. They are, in effect, the very same people. However, after the Rift event broke off communication with other parts of the facility and I lost track of these people, I was no longer able to keep them up to date. These constructs won't remember anything past a certain point. They might be a little touchy about that, so please be careful. Anyway, when you're ready, just enter the chamber and use the control station within. When you're finished, you can return to your quarters. I'll speak to you again in the morning. Good luck in there. Thanks. You're very welcome. I hope these visits help us, but get closer to our goal more effectively. We've got an awful lot riding on this. Sorry if I changed the voice of the AI. I don't remember how I did it yesterday. But, yeah, this is really interesting because it's kind of the same as Soma. Soma was a game where human brains were scanned and then a digital version of them was created. So that's a pretty cool concept, that this AI kept records of all the people so it could recreate an artificial intelligence version of them if they died. But they only are going to remember what happened to them up to the point that the digital version was created. They're not going to remember what happened after that. So we're probably going to have to find out, as we explore the planet, we're going to have to find out what happened, but these guys are just going to know their history up to the point that they were copied. Let's see, is this Winnie? Yeah. Oh, hi there. Don't mind me. I just need to finish these calculations. I'll be done in a moment. The AI told me about your trip today. Did you, find those items you needed? Yes. That's good. I'm sure the AI will be able to help you get what you need in the end. Anyway, I think I'm done here for now. I guess, let's just have a seat at the sofa. I could use a break. The AI has us all working quite a bit. We can simulate pretty much whatever we need in here to figure out how best to help you. Whatever you scan out there, the AI can give to each of us in here so we can keep working. It's a pretty smart setup, really. I chose to make my work environment this room. It's how I remember my old apartment back on Earth. Isn't that weird? No, why? A little. I thought it might be. It probably would have made more sense to create a lab or something, but this old room makes me happy. Anyway, the AI must certainly be keeping you busy as well, so I'm glad you're here, and since you are, well, what would you like to talk about? Well, I would like to kind of talk about the colony a bit. We had as much a chance as anyone at making this work. In the end, I don't think I could quite believe it was going to fail. We all arrived here when? 2048? What year is it now? 2064, apparently. Well, wow, so 16 years. So much has happened, and there was so much needless loss. By the time we all arrived here in 2048, the remote colony building systems had all the basics ready. Most people were pretty excited to get started. But I had a harder time adjusting. Space travel will do that to some people. At least that's what the head psychologist, Mrs. Bouchard, told me. Something about how close everybody was, you know. It was easy to feel trapped. We trained for all that, of course, but the real thing is different. Do you want to talk about something else? The ship calms, since that's what I'm really here for. Well, as I'm sure the AI explained, my job is to help you get the escape ship's communication systems repaired so you don't blast off into space with no voice. Even if everything else is functioning, you wouldn't want to be out there with no way to contact anyone. I think I'd rather be adrift than not have a working radio. But I think the AI's plan is sound. If you can contact someone from a shipping lane, you can hopefully arrange a pickup. Kind of like thumbing a ride back on Earth, I guess. I never did that. Now that I think about it, I definitely was too, well, afraid to try it. Anyway, sorry, I'm talking too much. Odd, I don't think I ever talked this much before when I was, well, real, alive. I wonder why that is. Wow, so these guys are really aware of the fact that they're just a computer simulated version of themselves and that their real self died. Do you want to talk about anything else? You pick. Well, as you can probably tell, I'm not great at small talk, but okay, let's see. How about books? Do you read much? Here's books again. Books seem to be a theme in this game. Voraciously, sometimes. I would like to say voraciously, but honestly, I used to read books voraciously, but I don't as much anymore. If I get really bored and kind of burnt out on video games, I read books sometimes. So, sometimes. I see. I don't want to bore you, but I definitely read a lot. Most of the other colonists weren't as into books as I was. I really like adventure stories, big, complicated ones. I suppose it helped deal with the relative closeness of living in the colony. Yeah, this is why I really think she wrote that fictional story we read in the building in the previous episode. And of course, this version of her doesn't remember writing it because it was after she separated from the main group, I guess. I could imagine I was anywhere, and the Hudson Cartier manuals said that escape was important to thriving in a remote colony. I suppose that's partly why we were equipped with this holosim chamber. It wasn't standard issue, so the higher-ups must have felt it was important. There were programs that we all brought with us. I don't know much about what the other people did in there. Maybe some took exotic vacations. William, Maintenance Chief King, there's William. It mentioned him at the end of the story that she wrote. I think he had some version of his wife in there. She didn't come with him. She stayed on Earth. He never said anything about it, but I could tell it got to him. I mean, it did it to all of us, but most of us were, well, alone. Normally, Hudson Cartier wouldn't allow colonists to be separated from their loved ones. They came as a package or they didn't go at all. Kept stress down, they said. But William, well, he was a bit older, and the best candidate for the job. I suppose HC knew how important he was to the mission. I wonder what his wife is doing, if she's still alive back on Earth. I wonder if she knows, what happened to us. Anyway, so you were in the comms relay today, huh? What was it like out there? It was damp, it was empty. Ooh. Should I show the pages? Oh, the AI warned me that they would be touchy about not remembering what happened in the future, but I don't care. I'm gonna show her anyway. You what? Oh, you found a notebook, didn't you? With a story in it? Oh no, that's embarrassing. Yeah, that notebook was mine. I was writing stories while to pass the time and to deal with things. I always wanted to write a book, but I never did. I guess I figured it was my only chance to try. I know it wasn't very good. So she does remember writing it. That's weird. I thought this version of her would have been before she wrote it. I guess I was trying to put my thoughts and, my feelings into some kind of relatable way, but that was probably pretty obvious. It's funny though, now that I think of it, I don't know how that story ends. I can't remember everything I wrote. That's kind of weird. Anyway, I was right about my guess. I was guessing that she was actually writing about herself, even though she called the character Paula. So she was growing distant from the rest of the crew, not wanting to interact with them and stuff. And the dark is probably just a symbol for her depression or loneliness or whatever. But what did you think of what you read? I mean, if you read it. It was good. Really? Well, thanks. I appreciate you saying so. That means a lot. What else did you think about the comms relay? It was damp. That was very true. There was wet floor signs all over. The acidic rain must really be wearing it down then. That was one factor that we couldn't properly account for. Hudson Cartier knew of the weather systems on the planet, of course. It had a decade's worth of survey data with which to plan for this project. But I guess a decade only tells you so much. The systems changed, and the acidic rain became much worse, and much more frequent. I'd be surprised if any of the structures there didn't suffer damage. In Colony B, we had it the worst. Things eroded so fast. The comms relay seemed relatively intact, but even so, it was tough to keep the equipment working. I can still feel the chill of that place somehow. Maybe it's a good thing that you have that scarf. I didn't even really think about the fact that I had a scarf on until now. Do you want it? Thanks, but I don't really feel the cold anymore, not in a real sense. That's nice of you to offer, though. What else did you think of the comms relay? It was empty. There are 5 towers in the relay. You must have been in Tower A. It never was completed. The relay was designed to be redundant, so not everything is in one place, and there are always backups of critical systems. I was the one who designed it, or consulted on the key components, back on Earth, but not everything was built to spec. I remember there were some issues with some of the drones. We lost some compatibility, so we had to think on our feet. That's why Tower A is only half finished. It seems like almost nothing went the way it was supposed to. It was so awful to think about. All those people. Don't be upset. It's just that we seemed to have it all figured out, except that we didn't. What does that say? Were we doomed to fail? It certainly seemed that way. So, it kind of sounds selfish, but as I work in here, I keep thinking about the fact that I'm here, and yet, well, I'm not. I knew this issue would probably come up, like asking the question of, are you real? If you're just a simulated version of someone that used to be alive. I feel, I can see you, obviously, and it all seems real, but I'm not here, am I? I'm not really around anymore. So obviously something happened to me. The real me. But I can only remember so far back. I guess the AI's version of me only accounts for so much. It's like a backup, I suppose. The me you see. This is the most recent version. But does it count? Does any of this matter if it's not even real? Yes, of course. And yes, I believe this too. I think because I'm a believer now in simulation theory because it kind of lines up with the religious beliefs I had before and still have, that I believe that our universe was created, and therefore the idea that scientists are coming up with that our universe is a simulation, I think that lines up with it, because the fact that the universe was, well, the belief that the universe is intelligently designed and created, therefore it's basically the same as a simulation. It's a fabricated reality based on an intelligent being's creation. So if our universe is created, simulated, it's still what we call real. And so if we could create digital intelligence inside of a simulation, it would be real. It doesn't matter if it doesn't seem real to us. It's still real in a sense. It doesn't matter whether it's made out of digital data and electronic impulses or not. It's still a real thing. So yes, of course. Yep, it all still matters even if you're not even real. Although I do think you are. Yeah. But does it count? Does any of this matter if I'm not even real? Should I say yes, of course, or you are to me? I'm gonna say you are to me. Okay, thanks. It means a lot that you think so, and that you came here to talk to me. Not just for work. Look, I don't want to keep you here. Considering all you have to worry about, you need to rest, and you still have so much to do. But do you mind to see if you can find out what happened to me? Maybe find out some kind of record of what I went through? I'll try. Or should I promise? I'm just gonna say I'll try, because I don't know if I'll be able to or not. I don't like to promise things if I don't know if I can keep it or not. Okay, I appreciate it. I know you have more important things to worry about. Anyway, thanks again. Good night. So did any of that help the mission? I basically just talked to her. She didn't really give me any info about... But oh well, it's all more about the discussion and the thought experiment of interacting with a digital version of a deceased person. So I guess I just go back to bed now. Yep, go to bed for the night. But yeah, I really like that idea, and that is something that developers are working on, creating digital versions of people. It's not very successful right now. An example is Bina48 is this robotic AI version of a woman that they're trying to make, but in my opinion it's really not at all like the real woman. But they are trying to do something like that, to create a digital copy of a person that will survive them after they die. So it's very interesting that we have this idea and that we're trying to make it a reality. Good morning, Mac. I received notice that the HoloSim chamber had been successfully accessed. How did it go? I guess really well. Like I said, I don't know that it really helped the mission at all. I'm gonna say it was okay because I see. Well, I hope it was not too much to ask for. These personal meetings should help us sort out the escape ship more quickly. If you say so. I received information from Mrs. Laurier's construct this morning, after I returned to a full waking state. Whatever happened in there, it appears to have helped her problem solve a bit more effectively in regards to the escape ship. Well, that's good, so I guess it did help. I'm already crunching numbers on her ideas. I think this plan of ours is going to really help us out. In any event, you can return to the core when you're ready. I've got some new mission options for you today. Okay, I'm going to end this episode here. It's shorter than the last episode, but I want to separate the exploring missions from the conversations with the simulated people part. So I'm going to go ahead and end this episode, and we will probably be exploring for more parts and information next time. So, I have been Mac. Thank you for joining me for a day, and I'll catch you on the next day that I am Mac.